You're listening to a Comics XF podcast.
X-Men. Get it!
Hey everyone, and welcome to another spooktacular episode of Battle of the Atom. This is your weekly X-Men podcast where we rank every story from A to Z.
I'm Adam.
And I am the werewolf who's inhabiting Zach's body, bad boy of X-Men podcasting, some other superlatives.
Yeah, one butt. Like, it's just all comes together. Coalesces into one orb.
I want to be clear about this. I never claimed that there was a singular orb. Obviously, there are two mounds to a butt.
I feel like that's different than what you were saying last week.
No.
I don't want to relitigate this.
Well, hold on, because as we said, and I cannot emphasize this enough, less than a minute before this conversation, Adam, you agreed that I don't remember anything that I say on this podcast.
And yet the episode title was 3 Large Round Reasons. So
again, I said, oh, that's what Adam titled this one. Great. I will copy it and paste it and put it into the things as I do the logistics for this podcast, as has been my want. That's the trick people don't know. Adam does all the editing at this point. Mm-hmm. Also, if I got hit by a truck and there was an episode of Battle of the Atom in the can, it would just be like lost to history.
It'd just be fun. Please don't get hit by trucks.
There's a whole process to it. There's like 3 to 4 different websites that I have to go to. It's a whole lot of effort. Yeah. And it's so much. Anyway, to take that back, all I was saying is butt is singular, but there are 2 mounds to a butt. I think that's fair.
We have butt is singular.
It's a Trinitarian type thing.
But cheeks are 2.
No. So God is not the Father, is not the Son, is not the whole, or is, but they are not all this. I'm going into modalism here, and I don't want to do that. Obviously, we cannot commit heresy on this, the episode celebrating All Hallows Eve.
We are going to commit some heresy in these, at least some of our...
I just said no heresy!
The first story is all about heresy. Like, come on. This is great
heresy
stuff.
Is Doug Ramsey a god? Could you believe that? I mean, Adam, sit down and think about that for 1 second. Imagine anyone taking Doug Ramsey as a god seriously, as like this all-power omnipotent, even as just like a leader of men. Imagine taking Doug Ramsey that seriously. That's insane, Adam.
You mean the publishing event that's happening right now, Age of Doug?
I don't know what you're talking about. I famously, I'm not reading any of that stuff.
Well, I will say we are covering it over at Comics XF, and so far people are reading it, so I'm happy about that.
I'm reading what my friend Adam has to say about this event, and nothing else, because I read that prologue issue and I said, I'm good.
Yeah.
This is a Zach's getting really into, I need a project, and that project he's catching up on all the X-Men that I missed in like 5 years.
Whoa. Okay, so this is in the future.
This will be in the future. I'll catch up on it. I'm going to read it eventually, as is my want. But like
it'll kind of
X-Men need a small break.
Yeah, but it'll kind of be like, a zombie rising from the ground. You will be raising the undead in a couple of years, just like all the stories that we're doing this week are about the undead.
Yeah, it's about a resurrection of sorts.
Ooh, yes. We have all kinds of spooky zombie / rebirth corpse stuff, and it's perfect for us. Stuff. Yeah.
Corpse stuff.
Yeah.
You want to take a second pass at that phrasing? Because corpse stuff. That's what we're going with corpse stuff.
It's my favorite metal band, Corpse Stuff.
That's not a good metal band name, but I would be interested. It just they would play a type of metal that I am not into. Like I
This
was
would be
never a
death metal for
grindcore.
sure.
Oh, I'm not fully against death metal,
Yeah.
but I was not a grindcore guy. Like the pig squeal stuff just isn't for me. And this is coming from a dude who did listen to a bunch of screamy post-hardcore stuff like yesterday
Yeah.
because I was feeling
I know
it.
what you like. I know what you're into.
You have no idea. Fine. What was my favorite screamo post-hardcore band when I was growing up? You have no idea, Adam.
Oh, wasn't it one of the ones you put on the playlist that you shared with me?
Almost definitely it was one of the ones on the playlist that I shared with you.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have not put Under Oath on there. It was Under Oath. They were just okay, we're getting way off base, but we're doing this anyway because there's a weird segment of the audience that really relates to this content and always brings it up when it happens. They were Under Oath, they were my favorite band when I was of an age. And they were, I would say, a Christian band at that time, and then have very much decided, no, that we're not doing that anymore. That's not us. That's not our vibe at this point.
They grew up. That's nice.
There was a whole thing. Well, no, because on your playlist that me and Adam made each other playlists. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
But on Adam's playlist, you had some, I don't know, what's the band that Fat Mike is in?
Oh, No Effects.
No Effects. Yeah, you had some No Effects on there. There was a whole thing with No Effects and the lead singer of Under Oath at one point.
Oh,
where
like a feud?
Not really a feud. It was, well, Fat Mike was making fun of Under Oath for having a Bible study on Warped Tour, which is objectively funny.
That is, yeah, he should have made fun of them.
Okay, but I'm just going to say this because I'm not a NoFX guy. You can imagine that at a certain point, Fat Mike probably took it from jokes that we're making with all of our friends to you're getting really pretty friggin' annoying about this dude.
I'm not a huge NoFX guy. I really like 2 albums of theirs when I was in high school. I've heard that Fat Mike has done some other stuff that's not great over the years, but I couldn't speak to that. I'm not really up on my pop punk turning old news. We're getting way off track here.
Anyway, then there was allegations because they started Spencer Chamberlain, the lead singer of Under Oath, started hanging out with Fat Mike on Warped Tour.
Oh.
And people were like, oh, I bet Fat Mike got Spencer Chamberlain to do a bunch of drugs, and that's why they had to cancel their next tour. And that's not the reason. He did end up doing a lot of drugs later, though. Unrelated to Fat Mike, he did end up doing a lot of drugs and did get better. And also through getting better, realized, hey, maybe the pressure of being a Christian rock band in my 20s and having to be this perfect example to all of these young, impressionable kids when I'm still figuring out my own stuff, maybe that's wild expectations to be putting on me, a guy who screams into a microphone while my friends play music.
Wow. That was passion. I appreciated that.
I've got a lot of feel. Under Oath just put out an album this year, and it's not as good as the streak of 3 albums that they had in the mid 2000s, but it's a solid listen.
I mean, what I'm not going to do right now, because we do have to talk about the undead, is like go on a rant about why people on genius.com, the lyrics website, don't understand what Don't Call Me White by NoFX means. But what I do want to do is get into this week's undead. But before we do that, we have to hype the Patreon. So, Zach,
that's the thing.
If people want to support our show, what should they do?
Folks, if you like the tricks, you like the treats, you like all the stuff that we're doing, go over to patreon.com/battleoftheatom. Reach deep down into your candy jars and your trick-or-treat basket boxes, things that I guess a lot of the kids these days are just getting a McDonald's
plastic bucket.
Yeah.
That's not big enough. You need like a big pillowcase. Come on.
It's for small children. And Adam, again, I don't know the last time you went trick-or-treating, but their legs are not as strong as we recall.
Okay, for the little guys. Yeah.
For the childs.
Yes.
Anyway, give us money is what I'm trying to say. if you in our subscription based gig economy join this Patreon, you get an entire episode based around one of your suggestions. And here's the things, folks. The request list, it's lighter than it has been in the past, which is not an issue. We are happy. And if we wanted more listeners, we would do literally any marketing. But
Wait. That suggests that listening is down or that subscriptions are down, which they're not.
No,
they're not. Like
listens are solid. It's just like we hit our plateau, and that's fine. And I'm just saying, folks, if you've been on that plateau for a while and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to wait forever for this request. Maybe I stop liking X-Men by that point. Great news. You can get some fairly quick gratification at this point at the $5 a month level. You also get episodes early ish, depending on, again, when I go through all the websites to post the episodes and all the other great stuff that we've got going on. So that's patreon.com/Battle of the Atom. Adam, what are we talking about this week?
Well, we're going to start with that time that Warlock was so confused about the rituals that surround human death that he dug up his friend Doug's corpse. So this is New Mutants number 64. This is from Louise Simonson and penciled by Brett Blevins, inks by Terry Austin. This is right after I guess it's a couple issues after Fall of the Mutants. So Doug has been dead for like 2 or 3 issues. And
there's a couple of fill-ins.
Yeah, 62
Fall of the Mutants
and 63 are fill-ins. But now we've really got to deal with this because, like Magneto has to kind of explain to Doug's parents how he died. That's not easy to do.
Okay, that's the whole thing. Magneto does have to lie to these parents about why their child is dead because they thought they were sending him to a school. And it's pretty weird how there's a gunshot wound in him.
Yeah. I mean, he basically tries to convince the parents that it was a hunting accident on a field trip through the woods. I would have to suspect that the parents are going to have some questions about this. Local authorities, etc.
Shockingly, nothing ever comes of that.
Nothing
ever. Doug's parents, who ostensibly should still be around, are like, okay, I guess he's dead. Do you think Doug ever, like, when he got necroshed?
Yeah.
Do you think he ever went to his folks and was like, hey, by the way, I'm alive?
I don't think so. Only because his dad has only had 4 appearances and his mom has only had 2. So
no, off panel. Do you think?
Oh, you mean off panel?
Yeah. Do you think?
I don't know.
Doug seemed like he had a pretty well-adjusted home life, from what I recall. I think it's odd for him.
Yeah. What's not well-adjusted is Warlock, because Warlock is. I gotta applaud Wheezy here. Wheezy is asking some really smart questions about the weird things that we do to bodies when someone we love dies. And he's very confused, about why he can't just use his powers to bring Doug back. And then he's very confused about things like caskets and, why does he not look right? Because he's been embalmed, and to the point where Warlock ends up going back at night, sneaking out of the mansion through a keyhole, and which is a fun gimmick, and actually trying to reanimate Doug for Doug's mom. It's creepy.
It's giving the death of Mr. Hooper, only if Big Bird. Well, see, the problem is Doug did die because of a big bird, more or less.
That's not wrong. Yeah,
it's not wrong.
Yeah.
And now Warlock though has to play the big bird role, and like, I don't understand death, and this is challenging for me. I think there's a lot of good questions, and there is some amount of heartstring tugging that is coming from it. Can I tell you the challenge that I have with this comic?
Sure.
It's incredibly funny.
Yes.
I don't know how much it means to be funny. I like to think that Brett Blevins and Louise Simonson are smart enough to know what they're doing. But I also would question if that doesn't kind of undercut the fact that Warlock is doing a Weekend at Bernie's slapstick thing.
That is 100% what's happening in this issue. And the fact that Brett Blevins is the one drawing it and making Warlock really ham it up. Like Warlock
That's the thing.
doesn't, he's sad, but he is still his wacky, zany Warlock self. And he doesn't get it.
It's objectively funny when he throws Doug's corpse up to Doug's mom's window
to wave like, hey,
that's funny. Now, in the hands of a different artist, I think it could come across as like horrifying. Like not necessarily scary for us, but like the gravity of the situation and why this is so upsetting could come through more. And I wonder if Blevins is just not the, like, it's New Mutants. So of course you're going to go to Bill Sienkiewicz, but also like, I think Bill Sienkiewicz draws this, like it's tonally very different.
It's going to
it's probably more in line with the thematic stuff that Weezy's trying to do here, because this isn't just about Warlock struggling with this. You also get Wolfsbane struggling with the fact that, wait, he liked me and oh no, he's dead forever and there's nothing I can do about it. And then you also get Magic being like, someone killed my big brother, so I have to I have to be angry and process this. So like you have all of this, and then people have listened to this podcast. You understand that I'm probably a person that undercuts a lot of things with levity and jokes when it's too serious sometimes. Like, I get that impulse. That is part of me. I don't know how well that works thematically in this comic, because it's not undercut from like a gallows humor place. It's from, isn't Warlock wacky? And I don't know how to parse that.
It's tough because first of all, I want to just reiterate that this is a bold choice. This is something that is, I don't think that playing around with a dead body, even fictionally, is generally considered something that someone would say is tasteful. And so for a mainstream X-Men comic that is coming out from Marvel in the 80s, to be doing this and to put it on the cover is a really, really, big decision to do this and to have this conversation. Where I think it works the best is with Rain, who starts the issue replaying the scenario in the danger room until Sunspot stops. And then at the end, it's close to the end, when Warlock confronts Rain with Doug's body and Rain just loses it. But then again, you get another slapstick scene after that where they have to put the body back and hide from the parents.
Which, again, incredibly, incredibly funny. Tonally, I don't know, as a complete gestalt work of art, I struggle with this. It's two different comics smashed into one. And you pick a lane. Listen, if Louise Simonson leaned into, we're going to do some dark humor here, I think this goes better. If they lean into, we're going to make this like an unsettling comic, I think it's better. I think it runs a lukewarm point, and it's a very memorable comic, but I'm not sure how good everything comes together.
Yeah, I still think that this should be applauded for its audacity. I think it's drawn incredibly well by Blevins. And
I think, again, it's really funny because Blevins draws it really well.
Yeah, but it is asking some interesting questions, as I said before. So I don't think it's bad by any means. I just don't know. Like what you're saying, I don't think it's 100% successful because of the juxtaposition of the horror and the comedy, and it doesn't really work.
It is funny
as a
that
piece.
Warlock watches Night of the Living Dead, and he's like, "Oh, that is what
Yeah,
I that's what I
TV.
should do. TV. I should listen to what the TV says and help out my friend Doug become one of the Knights of the Living Dead." Hey, hold on. Has anyone ever like copyrighted Knights KNIGHTS of the Living Dead? Because if not, TM do not steal.
Oh, I don't know.
That's a great. That's a someone has gotten there before, right?
I mean, I've watched movies with night zombies.
Yeah. Someone's already gotten there. Good.
Oh, okay. It wasn't called that, but that's
Oh no, it's a there is a Forgotten Realms Catacombs book by TSR called Night of the Living Dead.
oh,
Where
okay.
it's a zombie night. Good. I'm glad that TSR got there before I did.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was thinking of. I was
But this is
thinking
also
of.
a comic book. There's a completely unrelated comic book.
Have you ever heard of the Blind Dead series of movies from the 70s, Zach, that involve Satanic Knights Templar coming back from the dead?
No, I've never heard of this.
It's not like the best thing in the world, but the first one, which is called Tombs of the Blind Dead, I recommend it. It's a good time. Now we've ranked a lot of New Mutants on our big old list, so we should probably take a crack at where this goes.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about our podcast as it exists, is that we do have a big old list that is ranking every X-Men story from best to worst. Adam, wouldn't you know it? We have ranked 1,086 different X-Men stories, which
Yowza.
I said it before, I'll say it again. It's too many.
So many.
The best being the House of X Powers of 10. Number 250 on the list is that Bendis Morph issue. At number 500, we have Battle of the Atom. At number 750, we have a Christmas issue, X-Men 109. I think that's the one where they decided that they're going to chase after the Destiny Diaries and set up Extreme. Doesn't matter. Number 1000 is Sentinel Squad ONE. And number 1086, the worst X-Men comic of all time, is 2099 World of Tomorrow. Okay, Adam, at number 300, we have New Mutants 35, which is when Magneto becomes the headmaster. I don't think it's as good as that.
No, I also don't think down at 351 it's as good as New Mutants Annual number 2, Wild Ways, which is a better Doug story.
This isn't better than Shoots and Ladders. It's probably better than Battle of the Atom. I would say it's between 400 and 500.
Oh, you think it's a 400 story? See, now I like it at 403. We have New Mutants Scavenger Hunt. This is better than that.
400.
But is it better
400 and wait, like 403? Yes, it's between 400 and 500. We're saying the same thing.
No, I'm saying it's better than 403.
Oh,
because it is. This is a better issue than Scavenger Hunt at 403.
Is this better than Brood Trouble and the Big Easy?
No. No, I don't think this is better than at 385, the Larry Bodine issue. I think that's more successful.
I agree.
So we're in here.
Fine. I'm okay with that. This is better than, I'll say this is better than Uncanny X-Men Disassembled.
I would agree. Don't think this is better than Deadpool versus Old Man Logan at 392.
This is better than Ultimate Comics X, though.
All right. So
perfect.
393 is New Mutants Volume 1, number 64. Kind of a cheat, but we also have some more undead in this episode.
Just the regular flyover states kind, not the Hollywood kind.
This next one is a story that comes from the pages of Marvel Comics Presents, specifically issues 90 through 97, and it is called Servants of the Dead, and it features two characters, Ghost Rider and Cable. I am lucky enough to have the reprint of this. I'm going to take that out of its sleeve. And,
the Marvel Comics Presents, we're going to do a square bound version of it.
Yes, which is very nice. It's got a little bit of a chunkier paper stock for the cover. But unfortunately, this is very misleading because it does suggest that Sam Keith is doing the art. And it is not. This is Howard Mackey and Guang Yap. So it's
how do you feel about Howard Mackey as a comics creator?
Well, this is very much a Ghost Rider story.
As a non-Spider-Man guy.
Well, I mean, Mackie's a big Ghost Rider writer, so
Mackie is a big Ghost Rider writer.
Like,
here's the thing about Mackie's Ghost Rider, because I've read a spell of it. I have to be in the right mindset to. You have to be in the right mindset to read Danny Ketch Ghost Rider comics. The thing about Howard Mackie's Ghost Rider is that it's not good. I do love it. It's not good. Like, it's nonsensical.
Well, if you can handle the fact that, as he does in this particular story, Danny Ketch constantly goes back to his dead sister's grave and just mopes there for a bit until his motorcycle lights up.
If there's one thing Danny Ketch loves to do, it's go to his sister's grave and be like, I am the spirit of vengeance because of you.
I do it for you. Which I'm sure she loves.
Barbara.
She's like, leave me alone. But this very well could be like just maybe one or two issues of Mackie's Ghost Rider. It's combining Ghost Rider with the Cable that we saw in the Liefeld era, where he was like hunting Mask and the Morlocks, essentially.
You know, you'll laugh. Actually, you won't laugh. You'll just agree that yes, this is exactly what happens. Howard Mackie did come back 2 years ago to do one of those like back in the past stories that they keep doing forever.
Yeah.
And it's a Ghost Rider one. And wouldn't you know it, it absolutely does involve like have a scene where he goes into Barbara's grave. Like I think that's exactly where it opens up.
That's great.
Like, that's all I want. I want Danny Ketch to have a cool motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And I want him to be Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I actually think Danny Ketch is a better and more interesting character than Johnny Blaze because he's like has a personality and stuff, even if it's a dumb personality. The problem is Johnny Blaze's name is Johnny Blaze.
It's a better name.
So hard to get away from the fact that no, his name's Johnny Blaze and he's a motorcycle stuntman. Like
just rename Danny Ketch Danny Blaze, and that solves the situation.
To be fair, I'm pretty yeah, they're brothers. So
they're brothers?
Did you not know that they're brothers? They're half brothers.
Oh, I didn't know that. They share a father or a mother?
They share a dad. They share they share a father. Anyway, that's not important. I just think the ideal state of Ghost Rider is that Johnny Blaze has a shotgun that shoots hellfire, and Danny Ketch is the Ghost Rider. Because here's this actual secret truth about Ghost Rider: no one needs to be Ghost Rider.
He's just Ghost Rider.
It's just he's an on fire motorcycle skeleton man. That's all we're here for.
We can all agree that the Teixeira, Ghost Rider and that bike is definitely cooler than anything Johnny Blaze ever looked like.
Actually, it is. Listen, there's going to be some old dudes that are like, nah, Johnny Blaze rides a Harley. Johnny Blaze rides this. He's not riding a Japanese like a Suzuki. And it's like, no, you don't understand. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool bike. It looks like a future
of the bike is a skull. It's a black metal skull.
I feel like it's very telling of your and my's age versus most people that were like, no, the Japanese motorcycles of the 90s are the cool ones, people. Harleys are for weird old people. You want to be zipping around on the streets? You get yourself a Yamaha.
Yeah. So this story is about as basic as it gets. Cable is underground, like hunting Mask and the Morlocks, the bad Morlocks, similar to what he was doing in New Mutants. And he runs into a woman who is running from, and I kid you not, the villains of this story who are known as the Grateful Undead.
It's just, again,
who live under the Morlocks.
They do. Do you know how many, for as close to sea level as New York City is, do you know how many layers of underground societies there are?
I have no idea. I mean, there could be
There's-
limitless.
Well, you got the Morlocks, you have the Grateful Undead, obviously.
Yeah.
You have the Mole Man's people, the Mole Man contingency in
Good point.
Subterranea or whatever.
Yep.
You have, and I kid you not, the weird reverse underground Golden People Society that Tom Taylor put into that Spider-Man book that one time. The same Spider-Man book where he was like, no, I'm pretty sure Captain America was totally cool and complicit with the concentration camps.
Oh God. I have no recollection of that Tom Taylor Underground, but
It's
this
a very good comic.
Yeah, I can imagine. This suggests that there is like this extra layer underneath the Morlock tunnels that is ruled by the Grateful Undead. Yes, that's actually their name. And they have a god who might be a Cthulhu monster that lives at the bottom of a giant tub of skeletons.
It sounds cooler than it is.
They also like halfway through this 8 and like at one point they're like, this is now a job for the Warriors of the Dead, and it's like they changed their name, so it's very strange. But this lady that I don't know, it's a weird story in that she is basically like has some agency and that they're trying to save her from like eternal marriage to the Cthulhu monster.
Also, she's also a zombie.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that yet. She's also dead.
Yeah, we learn that she's dead towards the end, and that actually the Grateful Undead are just like, hey, like she's actually one of us and like already kind of committed to this. And so like, we just kind of need to bring her home if you guys could stop shooting us and setting us on fire, etc. They're also
and Cable do shoot some zombies and set them on fire, which again, we're explaining the plot. The plot's not the selling point of this comic. There are two selling points of this comic. One, the great Sam Keith Marvel Comics Presents covers for this, which are phenomenal. And number two, the selling point is Cable and Ghost Rider shoot zombies.
Yeah, I don't have a real issue with the pencils. I think my issue is more with Bud LaRosa's inks. They're super dark, super heavy, and they don't really suit. I mean, I don't have a problem with it being like a poorly lit story, but just the line work is very chunky in his inks, and it you know, there's like a really great sequence where there's a guy robbing a grave in the graveyard where Ghost Rider's sister is buried, and
Right.
he's
Cypher
like,
Cell.
yeah, he's interrupted by Ghost Rider riding his bike out of the grave. It's a great sequence, but it like
That's
could
the
be,
best thing in the comic.
yeah, it could be better if the line art was a little cleaner.
This is the beauty of Marvel Comics Presents. And I'll tell you, Marvel Comics Presents, pound for pound, pretty bad series.
Oh yeah,
Like, just, it's an anthology. Anthologies are tough, and it's an anthology of shorts, like 8-pagers at a time, which comics people who are used to doing 22-page comics, just their brains aren't set for 8-page chunks.
no.
So it takes a lot of practice, and there's a handful of folks that do it exceptionally well, and most of them are challenged pieces of work. I'm not going to call this one good, but the beauty of Marvel Comics Presents is that it allows you to get stupid comics like this. You got a bi-weekly dose of some of the dumbest comics out here. You know what else is in this thing?
Please.
These issues.
What's that?
There is Blood Hungry is in here for one.
Right. Yep.
Which is good comics.
Yep.
There is a Beast story that's in here. That is a nonsense story that is following up on 70s Beast adventures, things we all care about.
Yep.
There is the obligatory Wolverine comic, this time about how Wolverine was a fur trapper and got adopted into a native tribe and helped them fight demons, and he wears the most culturally appropriative Wolverine costume. And I do have to say that he is given that by natives. So it's not like Wolverine's like, I'm going to dress up as an Indian chief. But it's not that either. And that's weird.
Wolverine does a lot of that globally. So, add it to the list.
And to be fair, at one point, and it may have been during this point as well, the conception of Wolverine's backstory is that he was actually part native. Like that was an ongoing thing that like Claremont had that idea going on that was floating around the offices. So we're not litigating that story. You don't need to litigate it because it's not culturally relevant enough to be insensitive to anyone. It's just like a weird thing you did, Wolverine. There's also a North Star story in here, mostly about how much he wants to be a Quebec separatist.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you not know about how North Star is actually a terrorist for the Quebecois?
He's a Quebecois separatist.
That's
I gotta read that.
That's it. No, his miniseries was
That's really funny.
The miniseries that came out right after he announced he was gay, and then immediately Marvel said, "And we're never talking about it again." By the way, that's officially what they said. Chris Cooper wrote a book, and he said as much because he was in the room when it happened.
Yeah. That's such a niche topic. I just think that's really funny.
Incredible. Like, listen, there ain't anybody seriously in Canada. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to step back. I don't know what the Quebecois are doing. I don't speak that language.
No, that's
say whatever they want.
Zach, that's a sentiment that stays to this day.
Good for them. Is it? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to stay out of their politics. Again, I don't speak the language. I don't know what's going on there. They could have some valid points. They could be deeply racist. I don't know. I will say, funny.
Just, you might want to look at where Quebec is on the map and think about what it would mean if they just decided, we're not part of this country anymore. That's kind of funny. Also funny is Howard Mackie gets a really good line in here. He clearly doesn't, as no one does at this point, have any idea who Cable is or what Cable is. So there's multiple references to him kind of being a cyborg, like Terminator style. But there's a really great line here where they're about to get attacked by the Grateful Undead in some kind of abandoned apartment. And it says, Ghost Rider has seen too much innocent blood spilled to allow it to happen again. Cable? He's just Cable, and he starts shooting.
That's also a very good line.
It's a great line.
It's when you allow yourself, when you open up your heart to a certain level of dumb, Howard Mackie comics are pristine because he throws in those gems.
Yeah.
He's like, I know what you're here for. I'm going to give it to you. Allow me to give you the thinnest semblance of anything else.
Well, I mean, and nowhere is that more thin than the conclusion of this story, in which it turns out that the Cthulhu monster is actually just a real nice guy. He's just an immortal zombie that's really handsome that lives at the bottom of this skull bath. And, he invented martial arts, thousands of years ago, and everybody's been like corrupting his practices. But, he realizes the error of his ways. So he just wants to get married. And she's like, yeah, I guess, whatever. Listen. Oh, no. She says, I'd rather die, and does, which they're like, okay, I guess it's your choice. So whatever.
Girl, you're already dead.
They spend like 7 episodes of this, like trying to save her. And she's just like, yeah, forget it. I'm out. I'm done. It's ridiculous.
This is a weird nonsense comic that I appreciate, but also get that, like, yeah, no one needs to read this. You need to look up the Sam Keith covers, and then you're good.
Yeah, this is definitely not as good as, I don't even think this is as good as Brood Feud 2 at 853.
Hold on, I'm getting down there.
That's Ghost Rider 67 and 68.
You're right. This is better than at 922 Marvel Comics Presents Volume 3, Vigil.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
The time that Wolverine saw 9/11.
Yeah. I enjoyed this more than at 900 we have Emma Frost Higher Learning. I enjoyed this more than that.
This is better than Youngblood X-Force.
Where's that?
That's at 870.
Yeah, you know what? Like, this is right on par with an 863 Child's Play X-Force New Warriors, which I actually think is better than this. But this is better than the New Mutants Nova Roma arc at 864.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right. So our new 864 is Ghost Rider and Cable, Servants of the Dead. I will say, if you can track down the collected one that I have, it's fun. It's a nice fun little addition.
I found that in Spanish once.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was a weird choice. I didn't buy it. I should have. Anyway, do you know what's not in Spanish, but in fact in a bastardized French, much like the Quebecois?
Are you talking about the Cajun dialect of Mr. Remy LeBeau?
Oh, I'm talking about. Oh man, I'm talking about Gambit, man. Now, but to go down, get some gun. We'll be using the swamp oats. We're gonna get on the fan and go. Woo, man, it's gonna be a good time.
See, I didn't know if you were gonna go for a Gambit impression or maybe go for a Ben Stein, Ferris Bueller.
No.
Blank economics.
Okay, hold on.
Blank economics.
No, hold on. Because, Adam, I don't know about you, but today I just finished a 21-hour audiobook that was I didn't listen to it all today. That was a survey on criticisms of capitalism over time. So it's 21 hours of all of this. So I have been thinking a lot about Milton Friedman and Reaganomics, which is the other phrase that was termed for the laissez-faire, super free market economic stance that Reagan and Thatcher took in the 80s, which George Hubert Walker Bush in the debates called voodoo economics. Because say what you will about the elder Bush, and there's plenty that you can say about him, he was smart enough to know this is ridiculous. Ron. It turns out if you let the rich people have more money, they don't give it up because they're the rich people and they like money. None of this is about economics in this comic. I want to be very clear.
No.
Not an economics lesson. I just think that Milton Friedman is a villain and deserves to be punished. That's all.
We're only bringing it up, folks, because this final story of the Undead this week is Gambit 7, 8, and 9 from Volume 4. This is Voodoo Economics. It is written by John Layman. I believe I'm pronouncing this right. The penciler is George Janti, and it is inked by Don Hillsman. Zach.
Yeah.
This involves some zombies. This is Gambit versus an entire Nolan city of zombies, plus a team up with Brother Voodoo.
Okay, how do you feel about Brother Voodoo?
Depends on who's writing him.
Who's written the best Brother Voodoo for you?
Great question. I don't know.
Can you name a single person who's written Brother Voodoo? You're Googling. I can hear your keystrokes going. I can hear your keystrokes.
I'm thinking about it because I'm trying to think of anybody that's like taken on this character in a way that was felt like responsible. Like it's such a weird. It could be done tastefully, you know.
Brother Voodoo is Brother Voodoo is Stan Lee wanted to make a guy who did voodoo. He was like, this is a great idea, guys. Let's make a voodoo hero. And like, it's weird because voodoo is a very, I would say, new form of, religion or spirituality that has ties to the African diaspora and the slave trade when West African folk religions were brought over by people and got beat out of them, and they had to essentially hide everything in a weird veil of Catholicism and everything on top of it. And it becomes this odd tradition that starts in Haiti and then really happens in, the New Orleans area and, the Cajun area and becomes, what is known as voodoo, and now is, let's be honest, is a thing that they used to sell T-shirts and novelty things in the French Quarter. And it's weird just because of the history of it that that's the thing that we make Disney movies out of,
Yeah, I mean, there's not to say that there's not a culturally rich thing that's happening, if you wanted to talk about it seriously, but it's much easier. And what a lot of writers will just do is fall into the trap of, hey, haha, voodoo dolls, haha, voodoo magic can do whatever. And that's exactly what we see here. So Gambit is trying to talk down a local mutant who has invincibility force fields, who is robbing a bank. And as soon as he gets this character to lower the force field, a local cop who has kind of led him in this direction shoots and kills this kid immediately. And
the kid's
so
black. I think it's optically, the
Yeah, no,
story's
that's-
not going for that, but importantly, this is a cop shooting a black young adult or teenager and
Yes.
killing him very intentionally. And that leaves a weird veil over all of this.
Yes. The cop in question is a, self-described bad cop, Noreen Tanaka. And as revenge for this, the slain mutant's mother, who is a voodoo witch who lives on the bayou, brings up the dead from all avenues to attack the city and lay waste to it, I guess. Including a friend of Gambit's, who died in the first couple of issues of this. This guy, Dr. Dan, I think his name is. So
I've read this whole series. I recall nothing from it. It's fine.
Yeah, but you've got Gambit and Dr. Voodoo trying to stop this zombie horde, and it's including people that they know. It's weird. It's very weird. It's a different take on a zombie thing.
I mean, at one hand, it makes sense. Okay, you got voodoo, you got zombies. That makes sense. I mean, that's where zombie comes from, that tradition, or at least the conception of zombies. Plenty of cultures have had undead as part of their folklore, but zombies are a very voodoo based thing originally. So I get it if you're like, okay, what's Gambit stuff? Well, he's from New Orleans. Who else is from New Orleans? We got Brother Voodoo. What else is New Orleans known for? Well, what about voodoo stuff? Okay, let's do this. But it is very much a first idea type story.
It is, and it's not served by Gambit Volume 4, number 9 has Dr. Voodoo on the cover with a Gambit voodoo doll, and he's going to stab him in the chest, with a pin. And it's just we could do something a little bit more nuanced here, can't we, guys?
Take away all the cultural stuff. Put that to the Cypher. It's just kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Just from a writing standpoint. And people have said a lot of great things about John Layman. I've never read Chew. I don't know.
John Layman is more known for the Image series Chew than writing Gambit Volume 4.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. This feels like it's just nothing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of substance here, and the subplots that involve this cop Tanaka, and then there's another character who is jealous of Gambit and thinks that she is somehow going to go on, be in a relationship with him and is surveilling him.
That's Tanaka.
No, there's
character.
Another character. No, it's not.
Is
Noreen
it not?
Tanaka. No, Noreen Tanaka is the cop from the New Orleans PD.
But she sends. I got it confused because at the end, Tanaka sends evidence to Rogue that Gambit's two-timing.
No, that's not Tanaka. That's the other girl.
Trust me. I believe you. I read this a week ago, so it's only so fresh. One issue is that Georges Shenty's art is, I would say, not distinct and kind of nothing. And
it's It's interesting. I don't think that it's bad art. It's just interesting how like he doesn't draw noses. He never draws the bridge of a nose. It's always just like the underside and the nostril. It's a really interesting choice.
He keeps doing that because that's exactly what he does in the Leah Williams Sex Cops book.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, go back. Look at his art in whose name I am blanking on for the extremists. Look at that. I'm right.
Oh, I believe you. I remember that series. So again, I don't think the artwork is bad. I just think, like you said, this feels like a first idea and doesn't dig any deeper. I think the deepest it gets is this idea of Gambit needing to fight off a zombie of someone that he's recently been mourning. That's interesting, you know. But beyond that, like they do dispel the zombies by like attacking the woman, the mom. Oh, not attacking her, but like explaining to her that Gambit wasn't the one who killed her son, and that somehow solves things. And there could be a more interesting story here about, you know, zombies and law enforcement and this woman and her grief, but you know, we don't really get that.
No, like again, there's plenty of things that this comic could be good at. It's none of those things in this.
Yeah.
And it's a really disappointing read. Because like here's the thing. I do think that Brother Voodoo can be an interesting character.
Of course.
He's not here. He's here because he's also a New Orleans guy.
Yeah.
Which fine, but like Gambit is only superficially a New Orleans guy. Gambit is more a New Orleans, if New Orleans had any semblance of an underground, which I do appreciate that this comic makes it like very clear. It's like, yeah, we can get a bunch of zombies very easily here. They don't dig graves all the way down in New Orleans.
Right. Yeah.
Like you don't do that. You have cement blocks that are just kind of sticking around, and that's where we keep our corpses, which is true. I went to New Orleans once on a school trip, and on one of the sightseeing things, we drove through like some cemeteries and be like, yeah, it's weird. Just like you get it.
Water level's too high.
Yeah, we're under sea level here, so
yeah,
we gotta do something.
Well, let's try and rank this on the big old list. I'm looking down at 801, Gambit from the Marvel Vault.
This
Better
is not
or
as good
worse?
This is not as good as Gambit from the Marvel Vault.
Okay.
A wild comic.
I'm gonna say that this is better, even though it involves our beloved Chris Pachalo. I do think this is better than at 899, Curse of the Mutants, Storm and Gambit.
Sure. I mean, fine. Like I'm only gonna fight so much, but it's not as good as Servants of the Dead. That's 864.
No. I don't even think this probably isn't as good as at 893, the Mimic issue of X-Men.
The first appearance of Mimic. This is the first appearance of Mimic. And yeah, you're right. It's not there. This is below the Avengers Inferno tie-in, right, which is at 894, but above a Scotty Sun, I think. Great. I feel like that
it's a good
spiritually spot. Is where we should be. And that wraps us up for the week when we put that as our new 895. Adam, are you excited for the tricks and the treats and all the other Halloweeny goodies?
Sure. You know, love a good costume, love some good candy, gonna watch some spooky movies. So
what spooky movies are you gonna watch?
Well, last night we watched the Mothman Prophecies, and now, which is just an okay movie, but it's got good like 2002 vibes. And now I'm listening to the audiobook of the original John Keel Mothman Prophecies, which is a whole mess of nonsense. But yeah, we've got a couple other things on our list, you know, for the next couple of days. But if folks want to check out what I was talking about at the beginning of the episode, we are still doing Age of Revelation roundtable coverage over at Comics XF each week. So check that out. And you can still follow on social, Adam Reck on Blue Sky and Instagram. Zach, are you excited about spooky times and getting ready for Halloween?
as we've talked about on this podcast, Halloween was not a thing I was allowed to do as a child. So
Yeah.
I have as an adult, I'm happy for my kids, but I have no connection to Halloween. My biggest annoyance with Halloween is that my favorite horror movie is not a Halloween movie. Like Annihilation is not a Halloween movie.
No,
it's just
that is also up there for me. Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't have to get into it, but you and me both know how much we love that. But it's a comfort watch for me.
Yeah.
And it's so removed from Halloween's vibes that beyond the fact that it is also horror,
Yeah.
I can't watch it. So I'm at a loss on things to do for Halloween, especially because my wife does not like spook 'em ups and scare 'ems.
Oh. Well, I will say
She really doesn't. We've been watching kids' movies for Halloween.
Well, there you go. I mean, but to
But
your
that's
point
with our
about
children.
wrong season, we did put Mothman Prophecies on last night and did not realize it is a Christmas movie. So that was a surprise.
What does our thick friend the Mothman have to do with Christmas?
The movie takes place at 2 Christmases over the course of 2 years in the movie. So yeah. Anyway,
In West Virginia?
not in the first part of the story, but yes, the bulk of it takes place in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Okay. I mean that's where our friend the Mothman lives.
Sometimes appears all over the place.
The Mothman's from West Virginia. I don't care. Look, don't take this away from the good people of West Virginia. The Mothman lives in West Virginia. Everywhere needs its own local cryptid. You guys over there in Jersey, you have your devils.
Jersey Devil. There's just one.
Is there just one? I don't know much about the Jersey Devil.
Ah,
The Jersey Devils are a hockey team.
yes, that is true.
Honestly, Jersey Devils have one of the best logos in sports.
Pretty great.
It's a good logo.
I'm not a hockey guy, but it's a solid logo.
I was watching the Stars Blue Jackets game last night. It was dope as all get out, bud.
Well, that about does it for our zombies. Zach, what are we doing next week?
Next week we're going to talk about Boom Boom.
Ooh,
Just about Boom Boom. You know her.
yeah.
It's Boom Boom. She's great. I have art of her on my wall from Chris Somney. It's a good time. But until then, folks, this has been Battle of the Atom. We hope you survived the experience.
Get it!